Hi, my name is Lacy Boggs, and I'm the director of the Content Direction Agency. And I'm thrilled to be here sharing my story of my messy, meaningful business with you today. I started my business about 7 years ago when my daughter was born. I was an editor at a hyperlocal magazine here in Boulder County, Colorado. And I loved the work. I was a food editor, so I got to review restaurants and write about food all day, which is great work if you can get it. But the problem was we were a very small publication, and I worked 60-hour weeks regularly. And every month when we were trying to make deadline, we would have to work until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just couldn't figure how to do that with an infant. Plus, childcare here in Colorado is extremely expensive, and putting a baby in daycare during the day while I worked would have taken more than half of my salary for the year. And it just seemed like a really poor choice to spend half my money not to see my baby every day. So my husband and I made the choice that I would stay home and try to work as a freelancer, try to work from home. My first year in business, I tried to start a food blog because that's what I knew, right? I was a food writer. And I quickly realized that I hadn't understood the business model of food blogging very well. I was able to grow my traffic, grow my list really fast. I got invited to do a regular guest posting gig with one of Martha Stewart's websites, and I made about $5,000 for the year. I call it my 4-figure year. That was my that was my successful 4-figure year. At the end of that year, my husband sat me down. He said, "I love that you stay home with our daughter. I love that you're trying to make this work. And if you're going to continue to stay home, I need you to triple your income next year." I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that with the food blog. So I had to come up with a different idea. And I did. I thought, I'm pretty good at this blogging thing. Maybe other people would hire me to blog for them. And they did. And that's how my current business started. I started by ghost blogging for other small businesses, writing their blogs on their behalf. And very early on in that business, I was going to a meetup here in Colorado where they would have guided networking. You would network with the people at your table, and then they would have a speaker. And one time they had a business coach as a speaker, and he was doing a drawing for free coaching. I put my name in the hat, and I won. So I got a free coaching session with this business coach. And so we made the date, got on the phone, and I told him what I wanted to do. And I said, I want to build a business that will replace my previous salary for me to provide income for my family. And I want to do it only working 10 to 20 hours per week. And he flat out told me that that was not possible. He said, "You will not be able to do that." He said, "You can't do that. That's not possible." And I didn't like that. I didn't believe him. The whole coaching call was really a pitch for his services, and I declined. But what I really learned from that was, like, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? Like, that was my reaction. So I started building a business my way, and it's very different from the way people build businesses when they have like the fancy cars on Instagram and the Fiji vacations and the hustle, hustle, hustle. Like, that is totally opposite from what I've done. My daughter is about to turn 8 years old now, and she is in school full time. And I have never worked more than an average of 20 hours per week on my business. I now have an agency where I have 10 team members who are all also moms and who work from home to support their lifestyle. And again, we make good money. All of us, I'm paying salaries. You know, I'm helping these women put a roof over their families' heads and put dinner on the table. I'm paying myself way more than I was making at the magazine. And I still, to this day, do not work more than 20 hours a week. And I think that determination on my part to build the life I wanted to live, regardless of what anybody else said was possible, is partly responsible for that. But it was also just, that was always my big why. That was my reasoning behind starting the business in the first place, was to stay home with my daughter. So the idea that I had to hustle, that I had to work 47 hours a day, that I had to, give up family time and not be around was just completely opposite to what I wanted to do. And I feel like my business is a good example of the fact that you don't have to build it the way everybody else says you have to build it. You don't have to get permission. You can build it exactly the way you want to build it. And your why, your reasoning, your business doesn't have to look like anybody else's. It can look exactly how you want it to build, how you want it to look. I know that my business could have grown much faster if I had put in more hours. I know that I could have made more money. And that's not what's most important to me. I also know that I'm not happy when I'm hustling. When I'm working super, super hard, I'm not happy. I often joke with Joe and other ladies, business owners that I know, that I'm kind of the laziest business owner you'll meet. And they all say, no, you're not lazy. You do so much. And I'm like, no, but I want to do it the way I want to do it. And that means I work from about 10 a.m. till about 2:45 in the afternoon. And then I go pick up my daughter and I am done. I don't check email on the weekends. I'm out. And there's a lot of noise out there that would tell you that's wrong. And I'm here to tell you, I don't know if I'm right, but I know that it's worked so far. And what I know for sure is that your meaningful business can look like whatever you want it to look like. The other short story I want to share before I let you go today is that I've always really struggled with the big why for my business. A lot of business coaches and gurus out there talk about how you have to have a big why behind your business. You want to change the world. You want to, build schools in Africa, save the whales, have clean water. Those are all very awesome causes. And if you are passionate about one of those things, hey, more power to you. I love it. But my business has never been about that. I have donated and given back and things like that, but that's never been the reason that I started my business. My reason was to pay my mortgage and support my family and stay home with my daughter. And for a long time, I felt like that wasn't enough. I felt like I ought to have a big why behind my business, that I was going to change the world or lead a rebellion or whatever it might be. And a few years ago at a business retreat, I was expressing that dismay, that I felt like I ought to have a bigger, passion behind my business. And one of the other women at the retreat looked at me and she goes, well, creating the kind of freedom you have for other women, other moms, that's your big why. So why don't you just make it your goal to hire 10 other women, 10 other moms, and let them build the life they want to build just the way you have. And I burst into tears. Like, I'm getting a little verklempt even just talking about it, because I didn't know that that's what I wanted. I didn't know that that was important to me. And it turns out that that is extremely important to me. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of in my business, is that the other women I work with are all moms. They all work from home and they're all building a life around their business as opposed to the other way around. And I think that's amazing. And I want more of that for everybody. But it's not a movement I'm going to start. It's not a rebellion I'm going to lead. I'm going to start with these women that I work with every day that are in my Slack channel right now. And that's enough. So I just want to say, whatever your business looks like, whatever your why is, it's okay. It's correct. It's enough. And you can be successful no matter what. Just buck the trends like I did. Make the life you want, and you'll make me happy, because if I can be anything, a model of possibility for other people who want to do the same, then I am doing just fine. Thank you so much for inviting me, Joe. I've had so much fun filming this, and I'm honored to be part of the Messy Meaningful Business Project.